All right, we have a story here to tell you about high school sweethearts, and this really, I'll tell you guys that it really sucks. Okay, so anyways, goes here. Hi, my name is Chris. 32 male. I have been with a girl since high school, and she is a 30 female named Claire. No big deal. It's only a couple of years difference. It happens all the time in high school. When we were in high school, she was the hottest girl in the school. Guys hit on her like crazy. Before we started dating, there was this one guy, Greg, who wanted her badly. He would flirt with her every moment he could. She would smile back and give the look in your dreams, because that's what they always did to us average looking guys, in your dreams. We started dating, and even though we were together, and we showed it, guys would still hit on her. She seemed to like the attention. That is freaking normal. In my view, you guys, when something like that happens, it's completely normal. You take it as a blasted compliment. You know. She did, in grade 12, cheat on me while drunk and got a pregnancy scare. Gee, ever heard of protection? She claimed she did it because she was told that I had cheated on her a few days earlier. Yeah, cheat without checking in, huh? So instead of talking to me about it, she decided to have a drunk night playing Truth, Dare, or Double Dare. Gee, I'm going back to teenage days here. She told me that her best friend double dared her and Greg to go into the bedroom and have sex for 5 minutes. Does 5 minutes ever even exist? Of course it does. So they both apparently had shots, went into the bedroom, they were all over each other, and sex happened. Fast forward to 2 years ago. Yes, we were still together. I was in love with her. Great personality, great sense of humor, and of course, very, very hot. So, as I stayed at home, we are married, I was running the online business. She went out to the mall to get a few items. She told me she would be back in 1 hour. Well, hour and a half passed. She still hadn't called. I called her, and she wouldn't answer. I found it odd. So 3 hours later, she walked in the door. Her eyes were glossy, and she seemed a lot happier. I asked her, "Where were you?" I tried calling. She said she ran into Greg for the first time in so many years, so they decided to go for lunch. But once again, I asked, "Why didn't you answer your phone or even text me to say you were going to be late?" She told me I was sounding paranoid and that nothing happened. Go figure. Isn't that always the same, always the old good old response? So I let that slide, but she kept on getting frequent text messages and she kept on smiling when they came in. I asked her, "What is so nice on the messages?" She said, "Oh, nothing, it's just Stacy messing around." So 3 days later, she was going out every day, claiming to be with certain people. So when she was late coming home, I would text those people, her friends. They all would say, "Haven't seen or heard from her all day." I would get screenshots showing no messages. So, day 4, she got a text message and that she was going to stay the night at Jessica's place and watch movies. I found that weird, but I said, "Okay, no problem," despite the fact that she never does that kind of stuff without me going. She showered first, put on perfume, got dressed, kissed me on the cheek, and said, "Have a good night." Now that was weird. Why do you need perfume to go with a girl to watch movies? That was not like her at all. Last time she did that was back in high school. So when she left, I gave it a minute, then jumped into my car and followed her from a distance. She drove to a parking lot of a bunch of condos. There was Greg standing there, so I stayed low profile. She approached him, gave him a huge hug, and then kissed him on the lips. During the hug, he grabbed her butt. I was in awe. I witnessed my high school sweetheart cheating on me with a guy from high school. As they walked towards his home, they had their arms around each other. I could not believe my eyes. I managed to stay a distance behind. All his window shades were open. Yes, guys, I was filming all this. So I managed to go up to the living room window and seen him all over her. She was in his arms. He was kissing her neck and touching her other areas. He stopped to pull out the hide-a-bed. So she stood there. Once the bed was rolled out, he went to her. She had open arms. Anyway, to skip all the details, they had sex. I didn't see him put on protection. You could hear her moaning from outside for sure. So I was, of course, furious, upset, and depressed, knowing that she was doing this. I went home and just kept my mind busy. 3 hours later, she texted me and asked me if I was okay. I said, not really, and I need you to come home. She insisted to let her stay the night, and she'd be back first thing. Well, the dirty deed has already been done, so I agreed. She texted me in the morning saying that she was going to be late as they're going out. I had a friend of hers go by there, and she confirmed that the dirty deed was happening. So, jumping to 6 p.m. that day, she still isn't home yet. I had printed out online divorce papers. Good boy, man. When that's the kind of stuff's happening, you gotta do that because that's just garbage with what she did, what she's doing. That's just ridiculous. I told her, where was I here? I texted her and I said, it's urgent that you come home right now. She asked what was going on. I told her I found out something tragic and I need her home. 15 minutes later, she walked in the door, glossy-eyed, looking happy but worried. She asked what was so urgent. I told you I was with a friend. I said, where were you truly? She said, with Jessica. And I said, again, where were you? She looked stunned and said, you don't trust me? What is going on? So, I went to give her a hug on purpose. And she put her arms out and said, no, what are you doing? I said I was going to give her a hug. She said she didn't need one. So I got up and purposely bent towards her. And I could smell a guy and another odor. Yes, guys, you know what I'm saying, sex. So I said it to her again. You have one more opportunity to tell me where you were. She got defensive and asked why. So I showed her the text message that her friends hadn't heard from her in days. She said, no, I was with Chantel. Plans had changed. I asked her, is that your final answer? She looked at me stunned and said, yes. So I said to her, come here. She sat beside me. I played the video of her arriving at Greg's place and then the video of them in his home. I said, that doesn't look like a female to me. That looks like an old high school fling coming back after all these years. Her mouth dropped. She went pale white and said, I can explain. Yeah, right. Yeah, how are you supposed to explain when you're doing that with another dude? Give me a break. I told her hard evidence shows adultery and cheating as we are married. Why did you cheat on me? She said it wasn't supposed to happen. We were just supposed to be hanging out. But he showed all that intimacy at the mall and then at his building. I didn't have it in me to say no. How can the hell can you not have it in you to say no and not cheat? If you're committed, you're gonna freaking say no. I asked, did he at least use a condom? She stayed quiet and then said, no. He finished inside. I asked her to sign the papers for the divorce. She refused. She wanted us to go to counseling instead. I said, no thanks. Unless the courts order it, I am done with you. You were my dream girl. Now that dream has been dashed. I got up, walked to the kitchen. She kept on trying to hug me and beg me not to go through with it. Well, that night, she took the room and I was in the spare room. I heard her snickering. She was on live video chat with him, talking about how good the sex was. She told him she hopes she isn't pregnant. Fast forward 2 weeks, she was still living at my home. Yes, guys, I know, but I'm that nice of a person. And still seeing Greg, even though we agreed for her not to. Well, she ended up having flu-like symptoms, but without a fever. I seen 3 pregnancy tests in the garbage, in her clothes, and in her purse. All showed positive. She got pregnant by him. I looked at her. She started crying. I told her, now it is time for you to leave. I don't want you here anymore. That evening, she texted me telling me that Greg didn't want the child. I ended up getting the divorce 6 months later. 1.5 years go by. I was at the park, still single, and there she was, at the bench with a baby stroller. She seen me and asked me to come over. We talked for a bit. I told her, you ruined my life and I can never date again. My trust levels are shot. She told me she did date and he cheated on her and got the other girl pregnant. I snickered and said, geez, how does that feel? She shook her head and said, I guess payback says it all. I told her I had to leave and good luck with parenting. You guys, seriously, man, cheating is just 100% unacceptable. It's like I've always said, if you're gonna feel like that, your relationship is not good enough for you anymore, do something about it. Get out of the relationship before someone gets hurt. Because it's ridiculous that that people would choose cheating, hurting yourself and hurting the other person emotionally. Okay, is just not worth it, because not only do you scar the person who you used to love or you do love, but you scar yourself as well, because if you see that person, old memories come back. And then the scarring comes back in your head, knowing the fact that, damn it, man, this is what I did. I've personally been cheated on many, 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 many times, and you know what? I cared for these ladies. Especially my most current ex. She cheated on me with 3 different guys. Okay, and the only person that never cheated on me was my ex-wife. Okay, but if you're gonna be in a relationship, be committed. And if you can't be committed to the person you're with, you need to leave. You need to get out. Get counseling or something like that, or at least don't be trying to, do the dirty deed or be dating behind the person's back. You know what I mean? Try and solve the problem first. If you can't solve it, move out to friends, families, whatever, and say, this is it. It can't continue on. I need to move on in life. And that way you both can suffer the hurt for a while, but at least you're not going to hurt from someone sleeping with someone else, kissing, just overall being intimate with a person who's not even in the relationship in the first place, right? So that's why I plead with everybody this day and age. Do things like that, because, like I said, the hurt is not worth it. We live one lifetime, you guys. Try to enjoy it. Try and find that soulmate and enjoy life the best you can. Or simple fact, stay single, because it can be a freaking headache. So, anyways, make sure you guys subscribe, share, comment down below and everything. And yeah, just wait for the next video. If you guys have a story to share with me, then feel free to fire off an email to me, and I'll be more than happy to share it with you guys. So, alrighty, talk to you all soon.